Hey, my name's Dean. I collect a number of different music instruments from Craigslist. I just had an idea about doing something with a whole bunch of different pieces from Craigslist and eBay and whatnot. And I'm going to put them all together and make a drum set. And I'm not sure exactly how it's going to work out, but I guess we'll see. See, whatever I got here, and I'll show you. This is what I've got. I've got... This is an Ion. It's a cheap piece of shit little drum set, and actually it comes with this little USB trigger pad that you plug into USB, and you use their software. And then there's some aftermarket software that's out there in order to use this as like a USB MIDI drum trigger. But I tried it out. It didn't really work to the level that I wanted it to. It sounded crappy. So yeah, so I bought this, which is an Alesis DM5, and I have different settings for it and everything like that, and it's worked out fine because these little drum triggers, they come off of a cord, and then they come out 1/8 inch, single mono 1/8 inch, and so I had to get these adapters, and I got the adapters, put the adapters in the little holes, put the thing in the adapters, and they work just fine. And then I got this drum pedal from Craigslist, and it works just fine on one of these little pads. And this actually came with the kit. I'm going to upgrade that at some certain point, but basically it runs off of an 1/8 inch, and I use it for hi-hat. And it seems to work okay. It works with the functionality of the Alesis DM5 for the foot trigger, and yeah, it works out pretty well. So as you can see, sitting on top of here, I have an actual drum trigger, and I'm going to build something so that I can attach these, because I don't actually have an actual drum set, and that's what these are for. These bolt on here to the side of the drum kit, and then this sits on the drum head itself, and it triggers whenever the thing vibrates. And it seems to have the functionality with the depending on how hard you hit it. So yeah, and I've got quite a few of them. I've got 4 regular ones and a bass drum one. I don't really know if I'm going to do anything with the bass drum one yet. I think I'm just going to make a pad for 4 triggers to extend that, and then I'm going to use these basically as just move them out to use them as cymbals. Let's see how this works. Okay, so here's my design concept, okay? And this here is going to be a 2x4, and then 4 slats of plywood through here, and with foam buffers right here, some blue foam, and I've got some of that right here, like this, and then the foam buffer here with the plywood up top, and there's a 2x4 set in with screws, and with a little bit of hot glue in between it. Set the hot glue and then put the screw in there loosely so that it holds it, but it still has a little bit of a give, a buffer zone, so that it doesn't crack the plywood itself. And then this here is, of course, where the sensor will go. It'll bolt down to here onto the top of the plywood, and that should give it plenty of vibration room for it to actually react. I was looking around in my junk and I found some plexiglass. So I'm actually going to use 4 little squares of plexiglass. I can't find my goddamn tape measure. Okay, so I've got some more stuff here. I went to the hardware store because I needed some fasteners, and I got some little U-bolt things. I don't know what they're actually called. I'm sure that somebody will say something, but I don't give a shit. I'm going to call them U-bolts, and they're made in China. But unfortunately, I am kind of a dumbass, and I didn't take into account the width of the 2x4, because this has to stick out about this far, and as you can see, there's that. But God invented Dremels for dumbasses like me, so thank God for Dremel. Dremel. Thank God for Dremel. I got some foam here that I bought this little camping pad. I can't remember what for. It was for a purpose other than camping though. But yeah, so now I'm going to cut it to pieces in order for this. Got my plexiglass, and I got some screws, and I got some hot glue. And yeah, and I also have a roofing hammer, which is a hammer on one side and an axe on the other, because how can you get cooler than that? And then just in case, I have a regular hammer, and then I have also an axe. Now I don't think I'm going to actually need any of these things, but it's good to have them. I'm setting them here just for inspiration, really. And now I've got these chunks of plexiglass, and they're a little too long. If they hang off the side of the 2x4 here and I actually hit the other side, I'm worried that the length of it is actually going to create too much pressure and crack it. So I'm cutting these down to about 7.5 inches out. And yes, you can use a regular saw blade to cut plexiglass.
Of foam.
Now I've made some little pilot holes here, and what I'm going to do with those is I made them a little bit bigger than the screws, so that the screws can move around a little bit, so that it sets in a little bit better. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill these holes with hot glue, so that it acts as kind of like a little gasket, and it'll hold it together just a little bit better, and it'll keep the plexiglass itself from cracking. I need to make little viewpoints. I need to route out a little bit with my Dremel in order to get it thick, so I can fit it along the back bar of Now, if you can measure shit before you actually go to the hardware store, then you can skip this step. Use safety goggles. If you're using like a rotozip thing or a router of any kind, you're not going to want to start at the immediate depth that you're trying to go for. You're going to want to start small and then adjust it so that it goes a little deeper. Holes. I got holes in different areas. Holes. And that's 2 more lethal holes. I've got that hose stuck in different areas. So hot. Success! I've put it on here, mounted it on, made a few adjustments. I've still got some crosstalk happening right over here that's making some of the other triggers go off, but after some fine tuning and everything, I think that it's gonna work perfectly. I'm actually quite excited, and it looks kind of cool too. It's a ghetto as shit, but you know, whatever. It's kind of fun.